Hi, I'm Dennis Vichikowski, and this is my multi-genre family history project. And I'm going to conduct an interview, which should be the first thing right off the bat. Then I'll show you some letters of my mom and dad sending to each other. And then after that, I'll show you a family tree that I made and a map with the legend of where my family has been all together. And I really hope you enjoy. Thank you. Alright, hi Mom. So, say your name.
Kathleen Miller.
Alright. And where were you born?
I was born at Edwards Air Force Base in California.
So Edwards Air Force Base in California.
Yes.
So, first before we talk about you, let's get into your parents. So, Grandma and Grandpa, yes,
Yes.
your parents. Where did they meet?
They met in Korea when Grandpa was in the Air Force and he was stationed over there.
Oh, that's interesting. Why did you want to meet her?
He's banked at this credit union on the air base, and he saw Grandma's photo on the desk of one of the people that he would talk to that worked at the bank, and he asked it was my uncle if he would introduce them.
So they got married, right?
They did.
And they had you. Where?
They did. What do you mean where? I just told you at Edwards Air Force Base in California.
Oh yeah, so you're born in California.
Yes.
And that is with your two sisters.
When we moved to, because Grandpa was in the military, we moved to Utah where Aunt Jenny was born. And then we lived here actually in Nevada. Grandpa was stationed at Nellis Air Force Base for a couple years. And then we moved to Georgia where Aunt Jessie was born.
Yep, Aunt Jessie. Wasn't it thundering that day?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Interesting. So, now that's like pretty much where the family actually started, since there's not a lot of family members.
Right. Well, like I said, Grandpa was in the military, so we ended up moving. He got an assignment to England, so we lived in, your Aunt Jenny and I went to New Jersey for a little bit, where Grandpa's actually from. And we stayed with his mom, our grandmother, for a few months while we started school, so that Grandma and Grandpa could finish what they were doing in Georgia, like cleaning up the house, getting the car shipped overseas, all that good stuff. Then they met us in New Jersey and we flew to England, where I spent most of my childhood.
That's good. So, then comes my dad.
Yes.
So, you met him in high school?
I did meet your dad when I was in high school. He wasn't in high school, I was.
So, he was already graduated?
Your dad didn't graduate high school.
Oh,
but
yeah,
He was
yeah.
done with going to school, yes.
How old was he? 20-something?
When I met him?
Yeah.
No, he was like 18 or 21, something
Oh,
like that.
were you like 17?
He was older than me. I think I was 16 when I met him.
Yeah.
And he was, I think, was that 18? Yeah, I think he was 21, or I think that might have been how old he was.
Okay, well, you had me at...
I was 20 when I had you.
Oh, I thought you were 19.
I was pregnant with you at 19 and had you when I was 20.
Oh, okay. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to know, but one more thing. Since I don't have much information about my dad's family, what do you know about his parents and how he was born?
Your grandma Eileen, his mother, is from Ireland. And so your dad is actually an Irish citizen, but he's born and raised in England. He has an Irish passport. But his brothers and sisters, they were born in Ireland, except for Aunt Andrea. She was born in England. So anyway, she met your step grandpa, Dennis, who you're named after, in England. And they got married, and they're still married. And they live in Arizona right now, and your dad lives there too, with his girlfriend Samantha and your 3 half-sisters.
Yep. Alright, so that's pretty much the family.
Yes, that is your diverse family.
Now you meet Craig, which is your boyfriend that we are currently living with. But, yeah, we're just including him there. So, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, this may look like total trash, but this is like all I can find of my family tree. Now, this is my family tree. It starts off with my grandma right there, and my granddad. So then, they meet in Korea, you know, yada yada, and they have 3 children. Don't look at that baby. But right on the far left is my Aunt Jessie. And then the middle is my mom. The far right is my Aunt Jenny. And my Aunt Jessie, I couldn't find any pictures, but she has my cousin Alicia and Kaylee, my cousins. And then so we move over here, and there's my mom, right? She meets my dad and has me, which is right here. Yep, gross. And then see my dad and my mom get divorced, right? Then you move over here and you get my half-sisters. And I have a third one now, but I don't have a picture of her. And he is with his girlfriend, which I don't have a picture of too. And then his parents are Dennis Fidzikowski, which I'm named after him, and Eileen Fidzikowski, which is his mom. So, yep. And then that's all I know about my dad's side. So, yep, that's my family tree. Alright, now we get to the letter. And there's a lot more letters, but I just thought this one was good to read. But I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to say, you know, it's pretty sweet. It's from my dad to my mom when they were separated, when my mom went to basic training and my mom couldn't see my dad. And I'll read the first page. I'll, you know, go through it. Alright, here it goes. I love you, babe. It's Saturday, and I woke up at 8:30 a.m. Can you believe it? I've been crying hard all day. I want you to come home really bad. I really need to talk to you. I really need to talk to you about a lot. It's all good. I think about you every minute of the day. If you want to come home because you think you should, only if you think it's the right thing, you can. You'd probably have to, well, his grammar is kind of bad. You would probably have to be cheeky with the drill sergeant to get out. But if you want to, I promise to get you into university and marry you the day you get back. I have a really good paying job right now. I mean it. I could get us a home in Barrie and a car with the money I've saved. I would support you and take you to nightclubs and buy you everything. I wish I could see you now, and I would spoil you rotten. I'm also getting that job with my brother. If you worked and I kept the job I have now, then take my bros. We would make it easy. And then he just talks about how much he loves her, and then he has a poster of my mom on the wall. And yep. And look, Sean Charles Fidzikowski, he had to write in the corner because his name is so long. That's funny. Yep. My dad was kind of sweet. There's a letter. So, a historical event that is significant to my family is the Korean War. Now, during June of 1950, North Korea invaded South Korea, and that started a war that lasted 3 years, and that was the Korean War. So the U.S. established an Air Force base in a place called Kunsan. Now it's Kunsan Air Force Base. And this was very important to the Korean War, the Cold War, and it still is today. For North Korea, it keeps them on their toes from attacking again. Now that Air Force Base is still here, like I just said, with almost 3,000 people living there, and stationed there, living there. And yep, if it weren't for that, my grandparents would not have met. That's why it's so significant. Alright, this looks crazy, but the map with legend is here. This is in numerical order from where, everybody went. So, of course, Mother's parents met in South Korea. Then they move all the way to California. And that's where my mom was born, California. Then they moved to Utah. My Aunt Jenny was born there. Then, after that, they moved to Nevada. And then after Nevada, they moved to Georgia, where my Aunt Jessie was born. Then after that, since my Aunt Jessie was still a baby, my mom and my Aunt Jenny were sent with their grandma in New Jersey. So then after that, from New Jersey, they moved to England. That's where my mom and her sisters spent most of their childhood. And then they moved back to New York. Then after New York, because they lived in New York until they were 14. Then they moved back to England, right? And then my mom met my dad in England. And then my mom joined the Air Force and went to basic training in Texas. And that's where she married my dad. And then they moved to Illinois, in the Air Force Base, the Scott Air Force Base, where I was born. And you go to 11, they move to Nevada with me, but they get divorced, and then it's just me and my mom, and we moved to California, and then we moved back to Nevada, and I'm living here still. So that's all the places. It's kind of cool. Hi, for my conclusion, I would like to say thank you very much for sitting through my whole video. And I found my family pretty interesting, and I really hope you did too. Again, thank you for watching.